Hello and welcome to the career simulation of Konsta Helenius. To start off, Helenius will not be playing any games as he would be a scratched forward this season. However, he would play 7 games in the World Juniors as he scored 8 points. Unfortunately, he did not win though. Jukurit would finish first in the league and make the playoffs. Jukurit would win the Liga Championship, beating HPK in a 2-game series. Also, Helenius would not play any playoff games again and is projected to go 15th overall. In the draft lottery, the Ducks and Sharks have the best odds at the first overall pick. After the lottery, the Blue Jackets would receive the first overall pick. This means Helenius is projected to go 15th overall to the Wild. In the draft, the New Jersey Devils would select Helenius with the 14th overall pick. Helenius is revealed to be a 70 overall and would receive his rookie contract for 3 years worth $890,000. At the start of the season, Helenius is up to a 74 still on Jukurit. Helenius would play 64 games this season and would score 50 points. Jukurit would finish 5th in the league and would make the playoffs. Jukurit the conference finals to pour in 3 games. In 6 games, Helenius would score 12 points. In year 2, Helenius is up to an 80 overall. This year he would be playing on the third line with Filip Kurashev and Tomas Tatar. In 82 games, Helenius would score 35 points. The Devils would finish 6th in the league and would make the playoffs. However, they would be eliminated in the first round to the Blue Jackets in 6 games. In those 6 playoff games, Helenius would score only 1 point. He is now up to an 83 overall. In 82 games, Helenius would score 44 points. The Devils would finish 14th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Devils would be eliminated in the second round to the Lightning in 5 games. In 11 games, Helenius would score 10 points. He is now up to a 76. In 82 games, Helenius would score 31 points. The Devils would finish 9th in the league and would make the playoffs again. They would make it all the way to the conference finals but would be eliminated to the Panthers in 5 games. In 18 playoff games, Helenius would score 12 points. Helenius would receive another contract at 6 years for $6 million. He would go up to an 87. In 82 games, Helenius would score 58 points. New Jersey would finish 13th in the league and would make the playoffs. In the second round, the Devils would be eliminated to the Sabres in only 4 games. In 11 games, Helenius would score 4 points. He is still an 87. In 82 games, Helenius would score 51 points. The Devils would finish all the way at 30th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Helenius is up to an 88 overall. In 82 games, Helenius would score 83 points. The Devils would finish 27th in the leagues and would make the playoffs. He is still an 88. In 82 games, Helenius would score 100 points. The Devils would once again make the playoffs, finishing 10th in the league. The Devils would be eliminated to the Capitals in the first round in 7 games. In 7 games, Helenius would score 8 points. He is still an 88. In 82 games, Helenius would score 87 points. The Devils would finish 5th and make the playoffs. In the second round, the Devils would be eliminated to the Flyers in 5 games. In 11 games, Helenius would score 10 points. In the last year of his contract, he is still an 88. In 82 games, Helenius would score 104 points. The Devils would finish 11th in the league and would make the playoffs. In the conference finals, the Sens would eliminate the Devils in 5 games. In 17 games, Helenius would score 24 points. Helenius would not receive another contract and would test free agency as a UFA. Helenius would be picked up by the Avalanche for a 7-year deal worth $9.8 million. However, he is still an 88. In 82 games, Helenius would score 98 points. The Avalanche would finish 16th and would make the playoffs. In the first round, the Blues would eliminate the Avalanche in 5 games. In 5 games, Helenius would score 4 points. He is still an 88. In 82 games, Helenius would score 69 points. The Avs would finish 28th and missed the playoffs. Helenius is now down to an 87 overall. In 82 games, Helenius would score 83 points. The Avalanche would finish 25th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Helenius is back up to an 88. In 82 games, Helenius would score 67 points. The Avalanche would finish 31st in the league and would miss the playoffs. He is now down to an 86. In 82 games, Helenius would score 73 points. The Avs would finish 24th and miss the playoffs. He is still an 86. Helenius would play 67 games and would score 62 points this season. Helenius is now an 84 and on the Golden Knights. Here's the trade pause to read if you'd like. In 82 games Helenius would score 47 points. The Knights would finish 9th in the league and make the playoffs. The Kraken would eliminate the Golden Knights in the second round in 5 games. In 11 games Helenius would score 6 points on the playoffs. Helenius would receive a new 2-year contract for $2.7 million. Helenius is now in 81. In the NHL Helenius would play 52 games and score 17 points. He would also play in the AHL and score 8 points in 8 games. The Silver Knights would finish 3rd and make the playoffs. Henderson would be eliminated to the Bruins in 6 games. In 11 games Helenius would score 6 points. In what could be his last year in the NHL Helenius is down to a 78. In 50 AHL games Helenius would score 70 points. The Knights would finish 20th and would make the playoffs. Once again in the conference finals the Silver Knight would be eliminated again, this time to the Tucson Roadrunners in 6 games. In 14 playoff games Helenius would score 12 points. At the age of 37 Konsta Helenius would retire from the NHL. Here are his stats, pause to read if you'd like. In Devils all-time games played Helenius played 738 games, placing him 19th in between Philip Kurashev and Topias Villain. In goals Helenius would score 206 points, placing him 8th in between Travis Zajac and Hanu Taimi. In assists in Devils history Helenius put up 387 assists, placing him 8th in between Jesper Bratt and Dougie Hamilton. In points all-time Helenius scored 593 points with the Devils, placing him 8th again in all-time Devils history, placing him between Jesper Bratt and Timo Meier. Hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.